So, in a nutshell, the problems that we are seeing in the United States are happening because people are realizing that their teachers have lied to them, everyone's lied to them. Their doctors, post-COVID or during COVID, have also lied to them. So, every elite institution is now under attack. You've got academic institutions that claim to be supportive of free speech, that are actually suppressing a lot of anti-war speech as well. And so each institutional sort of, I guess, connection that bound us together, that allowed these institutions to charge $40,000, $50,000 a year, subsidized by the taxpayer indirectly, these are all, we're starting to question whether or not these people have our interests in mind. And this is nothing new, right? You've got essentially, a repeat of European problems now coming home to roost in the United States. So you've got Catholic Church corruption in Europe. You've got that now in the United States, where you have an excessive influence that may or may not be beneficial to everyone in the country. You've got a monopoly. You've got a lot of monopolies, especially in technology in the United States, right? What did you have in Europe? You had the Volk. You had the British East India Company. Again, you had these corporate monopolies. And now you can see it very clearly in technology. But even the coffee you drink, go back and look at how many companies control that cup of coffee that you have in your, just in your mouth in the morning. Now, it's not just that. You think it's just coffee and maybe, oil, right? Let me show you something. Again, I did this before. This is milk from China. I'm able to taste this because I'm in Singapore, which does not have a farmer lobby, right? And so, again, you've got an entire structure that's built to preserve a monopoly. And if you think you have freedom in the United States, you have to remember, you're not going to get that Chinese milk. It's not a big deal, is it, right? But you're also not going to get Persian dates, Iranian saffron. You're going to get none of these things. Russian honey cake, possibly. Or even Russia actually has a Coca-Cola that's delicious. It's got some sort of tea extract in there. You're never going to taste it. Cuba has the best, Coke, best Coca-Cola. I don't mean, the other Coke, Coca-Cola, right? And so, again, you're never going to see that if you're an American. And so is that freedom, or is that just what a corporate monopoly wants you to believe? And as you can see, what's really happening here is a little bit reflective of what you see in the Catholic Church as well. You've got essentially the mouthpiece, the Pope, saying all these wonderful things, a good man saying all these wonderful things. But that's just a mouthpiece, right? And that represents the Democratic Party, a staged show that wants to distract you and make you believe in magic in order to preserve what's happening on the other side, which is a real estate monopoly or a real estate empire that's built on the backs of workers that are not being paid enough, or that are not going to ever have that kind of political influence or outreach. And so that, on the other side, represents the anger and the backlash of Donald Trump, right? So what's really happening is you've got a mouthpiece, and then you've got what's the power behind the mouthpiece. And that's a real estate empire that really doesn't care so much about the past. It just thinks that it's built these magnificent structures on its own. The workers, sure, blah, blah, blah. But ultimately, it's got a disregard for history. And that's the battle that we see now in American politics. And so, again, just a repeat of what happened in Europe has now come to the United States.